How do we value graded books when limited data is available? A warning, there's going to be some math. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hey there, comic book community. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. We're getting close to our 2,500 subscribers, and we're going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away 3 books. I just have to pick out what they are. I haven't done that yet. I've been so busy with other stuff. We might be over 2,500 by the time I get to my next video, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a special live 2,500 subscriber giveaway once we hit that milestone and I picked out the books. I'm going to take the least commented on video from May, and we're going to randomly select 3 comments from that video. So I'm going to wait until June 1st at least to do the giveaway. Any video that dropped during the month of May, I'm going to pick on when we get to the day of the giveaway. I'm going to pick the one that has the fewest comments, and we're going to randomly select 3 comments from there to give away prizes. So I'd like to thank everyone for their support of the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, go right ahead. Comment on this one. Comment on some other videos. Give them a like. Also, I'm on Instagram at Bronzeville_comics. Whatnot, Bronzeville_comics. And we do Whatnot sales every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, I have an eBay store. You can check the link in the description. I was bidding on a book on Whatnot today, and I was trying quickly to determine the value of the book. Now, what makes it tricky are 2 things. On Whatnot, the condition of a raw book is a little hard to decipher at times. You kind of have to make a guesstimate. Unlike eBay, where if a good seller lists the book, has 12 pictures, maybe they even give their grade or a list of the defects, it does give you some information. On Whatnot, it goes so quickly that you don't have time. So I wanted to get an idea of, if I did get the book graded, what the approximate value would be, and then bid accordingly. And, you know, that fair market value is going to be you know, kind of where I set what I'm going to bid. I'm not going to bid up to fair market value for a raw book, but if I can get a deal, I'll take a deal. And I think I did get one. I bought a Batman 411, the first appearance of Talia al Ghul. I thought it was in a 555 for, I think it was $171 was the winning bid. Not a book I have in my collection. I was happy to have it. I have all of the Batman keys going back to the early Silver Age. The next one I need, working backwards, is 139, the first appearance of the Betty Kane Batgirl. But some of the Detective Comics keys I don't have. I just got the Man Bat in Detective 400, but I don't have Talia al Ghul, or at least I didn't. So I was trying to do a quick and dirty way. Now, so let's take a look at the numbers. So here we have cover price. Now, cover price, Detective Comics 411. It listed as a key, and if we go down to the fair market value, we see sometimes it doesn't make sense. A 550 has a fair market value of 400, which is more than the 55, which subsequently is more than the 6.0. That just doesn't make sense. But if we go to the sales data, which has more detailed data on each of the grades, we'll see, for instance, a 7.5 hasn't sold in 2 years, a 7.0 in almost a year. A 6.5 is a recent sale. 6.0 about a year and a half ago. A 5.5 last August. 5.0 last December. About a year since a 4.5 sale. More recent data we'll get from eBay sold listings. And I'm only really looking at values between... so here's the data. Here are the values. And if we take a look at a graph of it, of grade versus price, we can see there's an increase there. Somebody did get a deal there on one of the books. And if we have a model to make predictions from, we do an exponential model. And what this means, if we look here, we see 0.22. 1.22 means there's a 22% increase in each grade, from like a 4 to a 5 or a 5 to a 6. So you know, we could see there's kind of a curve that fits this. Now, if we wanted to estimate the price based on this model. Now, this one kind of low point over there on the to the right kind of brings it down a little bit. But a 5.5 is about a $340 book. I bought the raw copy for about half of that. So if it is a 5.5, that's kind of what I'm looking for. It's paying half of the fair market value. Now, obviously, it's going to cost some time and money to get it graded, but that's still fairly close to a double up. So that's one quick example of using that kind of model. So like a 22% increase means that if you have a book that's $100 in a 4.0, you would expect it to be $122 in a 5.0. And that increases, the money increases pretty quickly as we get to higher grades. Now, I think, and I haven't done the complete research in this, but I think that there's more of a premium once you get to about an 8.5. In what we would deem as a high grade, that people are going to pay a premium for that. So it's going to kind of move past the model. And then this really doesn't work for modern books, because modern books you don't get in these middle grades, but I think it's a good model to use for silver and bronze books, maybe some copper books, but basically books that would have sales and that would be CGC slabbed in like that 3 to 9 range. If a 5.0 is only going to be maybe $100, you wouldn't really want to use this model, because now you're looking at a book that only has higher end values. But for some of these mid-range keys, that's a pretty good litmus test. Now, there are two ways to use this to figure if you're buying a book, especially a raw book, what potentially is it worth. Now, you saw with the cover price listings, a lot of those listings for fair market value for silver and bronze books that don't sell too often are old and aren't reliable anymore. Basically, anything I would say from 2021 or earlier isn't really useful. And that's just for a book that has had no news attached to it. Obviously, a book that, centers around, let's say, Doctor Strange or Moon Knight, you're not going to include in this, because that book has had a lot of volatility in the market based on what's happened. An Adam Warlock book, the same way. But your standard keys, now your blue chip keys, they're in a different category altogether. My background is in statistics. I'm a math teacher. I teach statistics, so I kind of look at the comic book values this way all the time. The other useful thing for this is to try to see how much, if you have a slabbed book and there are no comps available, approximately how much should you sell it for? That's always kind of difficult. You don't want to sell it for really less than it's worth and leave money on the table, but also you don't want to try to gouge people, and you don't want to put it for like 70% more than fair market value, which is very common on eBay. And it's just not going to sell if it's a book you want to sell. Now, if it's a book you want to list on eBay and you think that it's going to pop because of potential movie news coming in the future, that's a different story. But just your standard book to list, I think it makes sense just to, kind of get a fair market value. Now, one quick thing you could do, and this is the way an exponential model works. Let's say that you have a 5.5, and you can find data for a 5 and a 6, right? You could take the average, and that would be okay. That would be good enough. But what I tend to do, because I'm the math guy, is I multiply the values for the 5 and the 6 and then take the square root. That might give you a little bit better, but you're still going to be in the same ballpark most likely. So this is just another way to value your books. The biggest takeaway is, and I've done videos on this before, use eBay sold listings. That's the most accurate information you're going to find. And also remember, the eBay sold listings, that includes the seller giving probably about 12% in eBay fees back, right? So if I'm a seller and I sell a book for $300 on eBay, I'm not keeping $300, right? I'm keeping, about maybe $260? Give or take. So if you're seeing a book in person, it should sell for a little bit less. Probably I usually about 10% less than an eBay listing. So the thing is, if you go to a source like Cover Price, where the book doesn't sell too often, you're going to see old data. And if you're looking for a specific grade value, you're going to see old data. So keep that in mind. Now, I do have a part 2 to this video. We're going to take a look. I have Superman, and we're going to look at the final chapter of the Saga of Superman 6. Now, if you remember a recent video, I did a CGC unboxing of a Superman 6, a Golden Age Superman 6, that I knew was in fragile condition. I definitely expected a 0.5, and it wasn't encapsulated, and it was kind of a mystery because it did have a certification number, and the certification number was on the CGC census, and it said universal, but did not have a grade, and it did have some grader's notes. This book is definitely fragile. It was the pages were exceedingly brittle, and there was damage to the cover, every bit of a 0.5, but the book is complete. So I got the book back, I guess it was yesterday, and just like we saw before, raw books inside. Right? It's in this raw books container, which is disappointing. I'm going to look at the invoice. Now, they should not have charged us. Yeah, there's no charge. Service mechanical error, Superman 6, September, October 1940. So let's see what's inside, and I don't know if there are any notes. I submitted this through my LCS, so he got notes, which essentially said that the book was too fragile to encapsulate. And I had seen on CGC forums and whatnot that this is something that people have experienced before with kind of very delicate old books that are in rather beat-up condition. I was kind of hoping to get it encapsulated just to preserve it, but I guess the danger is the process, and you can even see here, like the book in the bag has flakes. And it still has the cert number on it. On the sticker. It still has the certification number on the sticker. I'm actually going to look that up. There's the book with the certification number. I mean, you can see this part is eaten away. And it is like there's all sorts of little shards in the bag, in the Mylar. So I can understand that, and I guess I don't know if they kind of shrink wrap it or whatever, but I guess that was the concern. And I'm going to put here, let's see. Yeah, it still has the same information. Just says grade, and there's no grade category universal. So it does have a certification number, which is kind of funny, but obviously not encapsulated, too brittle to encapsulate, but it is complete, and it is a huge part of comic book history. It's Superman number 6. So that's kind of the addendum to that story, basically too fragile to be encapsulated. That is something that happens occasionally with CGC books, that they don't get encapsulated because of their fragility, because they've been eaten away by age. There's also tape on the cover. There is a lot wrong with this book. So, anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of help in pricing books. Kind of the takeaway is look at eBay sold listings and look at the timing of the prices that you're looking at. You can take a look at a couple of other recent videos somewhere here that I posted. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.